citizens of Hoboken. Here's Joker.
Well, Batman, everyone! Batman! Batman, before you get away, real quick, I just want to make a quick point. Look, I hate to look a gift horse in the mouth, and I do appreciate your principled refusal to kill me. But I think it might be time to accept the fact that your code of honor, noble though it may be, results in immeasurable death and destruction. Now, I think you're old enough for a thought experiment. You might want to go home and look up the trolley problem. This will explain. Thank you so much again for your introduction. Batman! Batman, everyone! And say hello to Harley. Isn't Harley adorable? She's actually a bit freaked out by the light, so I'm going to hand Harley off. All right, let's give it up for Hoboken, the town that does Halloween right. Oh man, so much fun. All the creativity and holiday spirit of Greenwich Village. Except Hoboken also has children. So the vibe here is more fun scary and less constantly on the verge of blurting out your safe word scary. Give it up. Give it up for Hoboken. I should apologize. I do not have any candy to hand out. Now, I have an easy out here. I could just say, well, I'm evil. What's more evil than not giving out candy on Halloween? But that would be a dodge. The simple fact is, all of my money is tied up in decorations and wingtips. I apologize.
Looking good.
I had a pins left over, but I thought it would be tacky to just be out here handing out individual Smarties. You know? Hey kid, you want a good or a plenty? I can't afford both. Here, have an M. Although frankly, I do think any disappointment is misplaced. I mean, I do have a reputation. Frankly, I would think the mere presence of the guy who dumped barrels of Smilex into the water treatment facility would put all the candy on this block into question. Although I will say, I have not tainted or tampered with any of the candy in any way. Not because I've suddenly grown a conscience or because I consider children to be off limits, but I couldn't think of anything worse than sugar to put in it. Seriously, read the Hellenic survey. You can print out a PDF from the NHS website. Shocking stuff. It'll put sugar in a whole new light. You'll read that and be like, whoa, maybe Splenda doesn't make my coffee taste like it's been spiked with pine sol. Pardon me, madam, you're standing on my cue cards. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm evil, so I'm not handing out it. But, you know, at least I'm not so evil that I'm giving out fruit. Those people are the worst. I remember there was this urban myth when I was growing up. Our parents used to tell us, don't take apples on Halloween because people put razor blades in them. And we believed them. We actually thought there could be people out there sick and twisted and cruel enough to give out apples on Halloween. Ooh, part of this balanced breakfast, what a treat. Yeah, I definitely won't back to positively embalm your house with toilet paper later. Ooh, the worst Jolly Rancher flavor by far. Let me get the real thing. You know, if you get an apple, you hope you got a razor blade stuck in it. At least then you can cut it into wedges, dip it in peanut butter, something. Anybody getting those little boxes of Sun-Made raisins? Those are the worst, right? Ooh, they're so sweet, they're nature's candy. Yeah, get out of here. That's sucrose. That's the good sugar. Halloween's for glucose. Raisins are only appropriate on Halloween when bundled with a Mr. Goodbar because the store was out of Chunkies. When I was growing up, I had a neighbor who was a dentist. So on Halloween, he would give out toothbrushes and those little travel-sized spools of floss. Can you imagine? I was like, wow, I didn't even tell you you were being tested on passive-aggressive sanctimoniousness. And you passed with flying colors. Made you want to get early onset gingivitis out of spite. Come back later after the trick-or-treating's over. Ding dong. Yeah, I'll floss with this Laffy Taffy. Ah, how you like that? Ah! Now you might have noticed I'm not any particular iteration of the Joker. I'm more of an amalgamation. Try to incorporate qualities of all the Jokers of our past. I've got Joaquin Phoenix's backstory. I've got Heath Ledger's color palette. Which is not to say that I look like Heath Ledger. I know I don't look like Heath Ledger. Well, maybe these days, but not in his prime. And I've got the great Cesar Romero's pants and vain refusal to shave the stash. Got that. I've got Jack Nicholson's age. Honestly, I'm the exact age he was when he played me. I cannot get over that. The one moment where there are no children in front of me, that you needed a kid to go to the next level, but that's fine. We'll just go on. What else do I have? I've got, well, I was going for kind of a poor man's Mark Hamill voice, but that's just an invitation to laryngitis. So instead I've settled on kind of a Kelsey Grammer as the helium wears off, I find. And if it scandalizes you that I'm accusing Kelsey Grammer of huffing helium without evidence, trust me, that would be the healthiest life choice Kelsey Grammer ever made. And just to round it out, of course, I have Jared Leto's tendency to elicit the response, "Oh my God, this guy is exhausting." Of course, that's more of a year-round thing for both me and Jared. Eric, I suppose I can get you out of here now. You wanna go for that? My Gen X chunk? Go for that? All right. Transformers
I gotta go
and...
get the Twix.
What's up?
I gotta go get the Twix. The Halloween candy, Twix. Twix?
I'm not looking for a partner here, Eric.
Okay.
Well, let's go back to Transform. Oh, well, let's see. G.I. Joe, did you watch that too?
A little bit.
You watched G.I. Joe growing up?
A little bit.
A little bit. Do you remember how they would always start with the cool acronym and then work backwards? Remember that? Like, you would have like a little like subterranean vehicle, you know, with a big drill on the front. And they'd be like, you know, this is the mole. But it's not the mole, it's the M.O.L.E. The mobile operational lower excavator. You know? And it's like, just call it the mole. I mean, it's a burrowing animal. You can just have to justify it. Probably worth noting that my hypothetical example, far more elegant than anything they would have come up with. They'd have been like, oh, this is the prairie dog. The piston recumbent. Okay, let me just stop you there. It's the prairie dog. I got you. I'm going to drill down even deeper on this subject. Let me just get my M.O.L.E. Here's a hypothetical. Do you remember Snow Job, the G.I. Joe skier?
Yeah.
Ginger fellow? Yes. So imagine if Snow Job, say he wanted to commission himself like some sort of little treaded vehicle, which which would come in handy for those scenarios in which he needed to travel in any direction other than straight down, right? Like what, does he just herringbone everywhere? That just seems like such a time suck. So anyway, so say he's got himself like a little snow cat or something like that, you know? And of course, if you built yourself, some sort of big rumbling thing that moves through the snow, and of course it's painted white for camouflage, you know, you would just name it the first thing that came to mind. But Snowjaw, being a member of G.I. Joe, you know, he'd be out there like, oh, it's my primary optimized laser attendant. Like, just call it the polar bear. It's fine. And the other side did it too, you know. Like G.I. Joe would then go back to setting up an ambush on a phalanx of reticulated pythons. Those were Cobra's dreaded. Yeah, I'm not even going to spell all reticulates very long. But he just name things after what they look like. Stop putting the cart before the horse.
Cobra.
No, I'm sorry, the H.O.R.S.E. The hairy old racing stallion equine. I don't know. It was a fun show, I have to say. Didn't really illuminate the horrors of war. G.I. Joe. You know? Like I'd be watching at home and like a G.I. Joe flat gun would take out a Viper, a V.I.P.E.R. the velocity-induced plane eradicating Recondo. Recondo is the guy with that. But you know, one of those planes that go down in flames, you'd be like, oh yeah, owned! And then off in the distance, you'd see a parachute. You know, like, oh, he's fine, he's okay. You know, and I'm sitting at home like, well, this doesn't slake my bloodlust. And not for nothing, but I mean, you can't just keep taking out infrastructure. Cobra's not Russia. They're not a bankrupt kleptocracy paping over that fact with propaganda. You know, eventually you're going to have to start getting some attrition going. I mean, Destro's resources are unlimited. He can keep Tomax and Zaymont in up-armored ATVs for as long as need be. But anyway, let's move on to Transformers. Optimus Prime. Now there is an aspirational figure for you. Optimus Prime. Just lights up a room. I mean, he can't fit into a room, but like a hangar. He lights up a hangar when he walks in. You ever meet his brother, Pessimus Prime? Man, is that guy a drag. Total Debbie Downer. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah. That's Pessimus Prime. That's how he sounds when he transforms. Lord. I didn't have to do this. This was elective on my part. Who is your favorite Transformer, Eric?
Probably Optimus Prime.
Jazz was my guy. I really dug Jazz. You know? And it shows you how far we've come when you compare the cartoon to the movies, because if you'll remember, 40 years ago, even then the creators knew there was something a bit iffy about a jive-talking Porsche. You know? So they took pains to mitigate the situation. They gave him a white paint job. They got the great Scatman Crothers of The Shining to voice him, give him some dignity. Fast forward 4 decades, puts him in the Michael Bay movie, just shows up as a black car, transforms, and I'm not making this up, just says, "What's up? I'ma chill," break dances, and dies. I saw an internet comment once that said, "I can't believe they made a movie about inorganic extraterrestrials and they still killed the black guy." Good old Jazz. Remember when we were kids and Megatron used to shrink? Remember? He would shrink down and I believe it was a Luger P-38. Now this fascinates me because that part of the lore did not make it over into the Bay movie. Bay decided, no, 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 my Megatron isn't going to shrink. That would be preposterous. Which tells me that Michael Bay apparently considers himself a purveyor of hard science fiction. Like a bit like he's hard at work. One of the writers comes to him and he's like, "Hey Michael, I got an idea. Maybe Megatron could like sneak onto the army base on the hip of an MP after transforming into a handgun." You know? And Michael Bay's just like, "A handgun? Where's the extra mass gonna go? A pocket dimension?" I'm hard at work here trying to storyboard a scene in which the Allspark brings a vending machine to life, and you're wasting my time. Get off my lot! Right? The only other Transformer that shrank, well, him and his little buddies, Soundwave. Remember Soundwave? The boom box with the Cylon voice box? Remember him? He was cool, right? Go get him, Laserbeak! You know? They never even made it into the movie, which I suppose considering as Michael Bay, that's probably better for all involved. Because you just know, because they've been switching names around when they bring them into the live action. And what are the look, it's a small mercy that the Transformer who speaks Ebonics was a sports car and not a ghetto blaster. That's all I'm saying. That's it. I do love the naming conventions for Transformers, though. Like, they're all named that, and, you know, millions of years ago they were given these names. They're all named things that not only apply to Earth vehicles, but specifically the user experience of Earth vehicles. Like, yo, what up, I'm Stick Shift. Why do you need a stick shift? You don't even, you know? To say nothing of the entire Bumblebee debacle. You know? Which, to be fair, they did retcon that in his solo film. They made it so a human gave him that name. But there's still Bone Crusher. Bone Crusher from Cybertron. Now in the movies he was a tank. In the original canon he's a bulldozer. He's Devastator's leg. And just every time he introduced himself to another Transformer, they must have been like, "Wait, you crush what? What's a bone?" And he'd be like, "Oh, well, that's like an axle, but for carbon-based life." And they're like, "Oh, you believe that crackpot theory? What's next? Cybertron is flat?" Or Ratchet. Ratchet, the Autobots medical officer. Which, to give them some credit, was actually a Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest reference. I swear, it actually was. But like, how are you named Ratchet? How do you know what a ratchet is? What? You don't need tools, you could just be one. I like when they ran out of like normal things for Transformers to turn into. They started just turning into any old thing. Like you couldn't hide as any. Okay, the Dinobots, there's an explanation because the Transformers are crash landed in prehistoric time, so that explains that. That's fine. It doesn't explain Insecticons though. I mean, Insecticons, even canonically, didn't even shrink. There, you're gonna use the tech for that, but no. So, tell me, Bombshell, what 20-ton Beetles are you trying to fit in with? Like, why even transform? You're just giving up the advantages of the opposable thumb for nothing, as far as I can tell. Now, his name was Bombshell. He was named Bombshell because that was the ordnance he used in battle. He was not a foxy lady. Not like Arcee. Arcee the Transformeress. The Smurfette of Cybertron. And I think she's still the only one. The only girl Transformer. And she turns into a moped of all things. Excuse me, can I get like a mounted rocket launcher or something? No! You will go into battle as an unarmored pink pastel Vespa. And you'll like it.
Oh my god.
One girl. Nothing like G.I. Joe that had 3 times that many. Because at Hasbro, representation matters. Honestly, Hasbro, I start to think you're leaving all that tomboy money on the table. After a while, I have to start wondering if it's really a financial consideration or a political one. That's all I'm saying. My favorite Transformer, though, Starscream. Boy, there was a high-strung guy. Starscream. Anything you say to him, he just goes off. You know, Megatron would be like, Starscream, have you seen my Glaxoplok? Like whatever Transformers call wallets. Have you seen my Glaxoplok? You know, Starscream would be like, so, the mighty Megatron can't keep track of his personal effects. You are not fit to lead the Decepticons. It is I, Starscream, who should be in charge. You know, and Megatron's like, okay, Starscream, seriously. We go through this every other day. If you're going to try to dethrone me, make a move. Otherwise, would you just help me find my Glaxoplok? You know, and Starscream would be like, have you tried looking between the bluff cushions? Remember, even as a child, I thought, that to me was the most unrealistic thing about Transformers. That you would just be so blatant about planning a coup. Like, no, you'd want to be in their good graces. You would want Megatron to feel comfortable turning his back on you, because that's where the knife goes, right? You wouldn't advertise your intentions. Well, it turns out I was completely wrong about that, wasn't I? Insurrectionists are curiously above board, as it turns out. They'll put it right in the papers. Okay, you'll have to pardon me. I can't bear to be in this coat anymore. Lordy.
Where's Batman? Fight the Batman!
Who's your favorite Batman?
You.
That.
You're gonna fight the Batman!
What's your favorite
If you
game
saw
as a child?
a Batgirl. Look, a little Batgirl. Hi, Batgirl. Hey, Batgirl, you better watch your back when I'm around. Get it back? The Killing Joke? Killing Joke, anyone? Nobody? Okay. This was in a separate parallel universe. There's like a billion of them. Don't sweat it. But basically, long story short, Barbara Gordon is no longer Batgirl. Now she's the wheelchair-bound Oracle. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. Pop right in the spine. But that's, yeah. And then I took pictures of her and sent them to Commissioner Gordon. Really gross stuff, honestly. But hey, that's Alan Moore for you, right? Good night, everyone. Night, Batgirl. Sorry about the whole paralyzing thing. But yep, that's Alan Moore. Oh no, you don't understand. Alan Moore constantly invokes tropes of violence against women because he's such a feminist. Yeah. Keep telling yourself that. Better yet, tell Sally Jupiter, the original Silk Spectre, that. If you're into laryngectomy by stiletto. You know what would be a really good way to annoy Alan Moore? If you tracked him down at a Comic-Con, you went up to him like, hey, Alan, big fan. Just wanted to tell you, my favorite superhero is Watchman. I just watch the steam. Because that's a real accomplishment, right? Annoying Alan Moore. Congratulations, you have a pulse. All right, let's talk about Batman a little more. Hey, are you actually Catwoman, or is that just a coincidence? You are! Fantastic. You were the best thing about The Dark Knight Rises. You were the only good thing about Dark Knight Rises. What a narrative mess. Oh, hello. Dark Knight Rises. Do we talk about that one anymore? Not much, right? I have to say, I'm not sure why they cast Tom Hardy in that movie. Why did you cast Tom Hardy as big? Tom Hardy is my size. Granted, he's proportioned better, but we're both like 5'9", 150.
That's the real Joker.
Why would you cast him? We're gonna put him in platform shoes, they're shooting forced perspective. Spent the whole year of pre-production just funnel feeding him, you know, GNC protein powder, putting him on an all elk diet. Like, just cast Batista. What are you doing?
Harley Quinn's
Can you
coming
put
out.
Batman in jail?
What's up?
How do you put Batman in jail? Batman. And break the law.
Wow, you are a cop. You don't even like vigilantes.
But I don't want to catch any crooks. Hey, Joe, I only catch other Batman. You're a clam guy a lot, right? And I'm his princess. You got clams, right?
That classic coupling, officer and princess.
Yeah, I protect her. What's the hammer for?
Did you make it past the Venus flytraps to get her out of the castle?
No,
You probably don't teach that at police academy, right? Oh, moving around in pipes. You got guys.
Clark, I gotta go. Good luck on Sunday.
Hey, thank you so much, sir.
Hey.
Toodaloo. So I can't break character, you know this.
I get it. Okay, no, great segment.
I think I might afford myself a bit of a break here. You know what? Is that Gregory?
Yeah.
Hello, Gregory. You know,
That's tired.
if I may get serious here for a moment. I was going to say, you know, you want to say it, get it out of your system. We only heard that a few dozen times in the doggy costume contest. But if I could make an earnest plea,
Why so serious?
I try to stay out of politics. Nasty business. But you know, there comes a time when the world rests on a knife's edge, and you can't justify standing on the sidelines anymore. You know, I didn't make my voice heard during the New York mayoral primary, and you see how that worked out. Garcia was right there, people. She was with the sanitation department. How good is a metaphor gotta be for you, you know? Plus, I mean, she was a commissioner. I figured maybe she'd have a daughter I could paralyze, but that's just self-interest. But no, you went with Eric Adams. And okay, look. Now, we all know Gotham is a stand-in for New York City. Good job, New Yorkers. You managed to elect someone not only more corrupt than anyone in the Batverse, but even weirder to boot. He's an odd duck. You know, my associate, the Penguin, was mayor for a time. And look, I'm not going to say he rose to the occasion. He wasn't like a devoted public servant or anything. But at least his corruption was of the standard variety, you know? Skimming off pensions, wetting his beak, so to speak. He wasn't in the pocket of Turkish strongman Tayyip Erdogan.
Batman comes for you.
People keep warning me about Batman. I have yet to see him. He introduced me and then scurried off. I doubt the ninja's scared of fighting the rodeo clown. But no, seriously, and I mean, I'm talking to your parents here, but if you're over 18,
He's like, I'm not touching.
I really, I really am overdue for a break here. But, okay, listen, so just, to be serious here for a second. I'm proud to endorse Kamala Harris for President of the United States. Yes. For all of you, get out there. You know, if you're over 18 on Tuesday, get out there and vote for Kamala.
No.
Oh, heck, you know what? No, all of you. All of you vote for Kamala. Just don't get caught. Worst case scenario, you get charged as a minor. It's a slap on the wrist. And they won't even expunge your record till you get out of high school. So when you're a teenager, you'll be one of the cool kids.
Come on, Lachlan.
You know, Mr. Freeze himself endorsed Kamala a couple of days ago. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I kept hoping he would actually, like, pepper his speech with quotes from the Joel Schumacher movie he was in. Just like, as though that's the iconic character we all remember him for, you know? But he could be out there like, oh, so when you're chilling in the voting booth, be cool, vote for Kamala Harris. Let's put fascism on ice. Look, I'm not a very good impressionist. For that, you want Clayface, okay? And I'll bet you're probably thinking, he doesn't really want us to vote for Kamala Harris. He's doing some kind of, you know, double psychology deal, reverse psychology deal on us. You know? I mean, he is chaos incarnate after all. But that is precisely my point. I am chaos incarnate! Not Donald Trump, this fraud! This pretender to the throne! The clown prince of crime ain't looking for a king, okay? And don't kid yourselves. Donald Trump would have blown up both ferries. And Tiny Lister couldn't help you then. And I may be a psychopathic murderer, but I have my limits. I'm not out here trying to fearmonger. Telling you like, Black Canary's coming to vaporize your pets with her sonic scream. I'm better than that. And not to be shallow about it, my hair and makeup is actually less drastic. It sounds like I'm using hyperbole for humorous effect, but that is a true statement. Seriously. I mean, there is a slight chance you might recognize me out of costume. If you saw Donald Trump roll out of bed in the morning, you'd be like, wow, what is that, a giant tardigrade? Google giant tardigrade, they even have the face. You can just ask Superman. Lex Luthor was elected president once. Ask Soups how that went. You see, you elect a businessman who tells it like it is and hates reporters and aliens. Next thing you know, he's in a mech suit made out of space rocks, looking like Buzz Lightyear with microcephaly, and you're like, hey, I thought you were gonna drain the swamp. To be fair though, if you really wanted someone to drain the swamp, you should have voted for Anton Arcane. Lois, I'm telling you, Fred's just gonna have to suck it up and start coming out. Some of these jokes have an audience of one and they're Fred. And I tell you, I'm not the only one in the Bat Rogues gallery who's voting for Kamala this year. Don't think anyone in Gotham's criminal underground has forgiven J.D. Vance for what he said about childless catwomen. In short, vote comedy. All right. Gregory, what would you say is your favorite Batman film? Which do you enjoy the most?
The Batman Returns, where with Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Aha, yes! Love that one myself. Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Great Batman. You know, that kid who introduced me looked a little like Michael Keaton. A little too tall, but otherwise. Can you believe they brought Michael Keaton back for The Flash?
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's rough. The movie's rough going. Bombed pretty hard at the box office.
Yes, sir.
It's too bad the lead actor couldn't be out there doing promotions. He was busy being arrested for assault and human trafficking. I'm not making this up. Seriously got involved in that stuff.
Black Joker.
I will say I was impressed with the visual effects work in The Flash. CGI has come a long, long way. Full disclosure, the last effects-heavy film I saw was Misbegotten King adaptation Lawnmower Man. So, that might explain that.
Oh, we got a comedy show. Right.
Hey, are you a Dark Knight fan by any chance? There he is!
There we go.
Ah! He's even the Dark Knight one.
Come here, I got my little partner with me. Zara, come here.
Who do you got?
I got my partner with me.
You got a Harley with you?
I got a little Harley with me.
Hey, I got my little Harley with me!
Check it out.
Get over here!
It's in there.
Come on over here. Look at that. Let me just borrow him back, or, well, her, for tonight.
Look at that. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at her hair. Who's her hairstylist?
That would be me.
Oh, what? I gotta book you. Oh my god. Really? Oh my goodness, I love it.
Amazing.
She is in full effect. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
You know my favorite part about The Dark Knight? My favorite thing about that film? I like when Alfred resigned in protest over internet surveillance, of all things. Like, now see here, Master Bruce. The innumerable extrajudicial beatdowns was one thing, yeah? But I'm afraid I cannot countenance hacking people's emails. Like, what are you talking about? You're trying to thwart a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack staged by me, so, you know, I'm in your debt, but I feel like you could lighten up on the two-stage verification to save lives, you know? Like, what is he even worried about? Batman's butler is very concerned about data mining. It's so sophisticated these days. You know, the corporations use that to control us. Do they really, though? Or do they just do what they do to me, which is constantly try to sell me things I just bought?
Speak your truth.
Right?
Yes!
There's constant pop-ups like, hey, you might be interested in a whoopee cushion filled with E. coli. Yeah, I was. It's arrived Tuesday. And the privacy concerns, is that what Alfred resigned in protest over? Privacy concerns? Non-famous people don't even care. Like, man, half those people whose phones we hacked, their password had the word password in them. Do these seem like people that are jealously guarding their privacy to you? Calm down, Alfred Snowden. And let's not forget the message of Dark Knight Rises, which is, if you're on the wrong side of the law, Batman will stop at nothing to bring you to justice. Unless you're pretty, in which case you can run off together and elope in a country with no extradition treaty. I believe I should be taking a break for myself now. I think I might be out of material. Oh, I got my Superman stuff. No, that's fine. Thank you very much. If I may get serious here for another moment, though. Thank you all very much for your time, but at this time of year, let's all try to remember that despite the stigma, the mentally ill are, statistically speaking, far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. And not me, I've got a body count as long as a CVS receipt. It's just something to think about. Happy Halloween, everybody!